After a long night of terror, Desmond Hall seems like some comfortable refuge to Jean-Paul Desmond, who has fought against the powers which would force him to kill. For the first time, Jean-Paul has resisted that force, and now daylight promises new hope. But in the drawing room of Desmond Hall waits a threat which could reveal his dark secret to the world.
I have been so patient. I really have, Mr. Jean-Paul Desmond. But I don't like this feeling of being unsettled. I'm a person who needs comfort and order. And he's been taking so long. Well then, if I'm going to have a new life, I just better start it now. I hate to do it this way. I planned on his help, so things could be done his way. But I just can't wait for that, can I? Hello? Could you get me the police, please? I'd like to make a report on that man who's been killing so many people.
Put that down.
But I already have. Good morning, Mr. Desmond.
You were calling the police.
That's right, and I apologize for that. I just got so tired waiting for you.
What are you doing here?
I'm just waiting, that's all. I'm Agatha, don't you remember me?
Come in here. Why were you calling the police?
I think you heard.
I heard you speaking of killing and a murderer.
Don't come any closer, Mr. Desmond, please.
So you think I'm the murderer?
Oh, I didn't say that to the police or to anyone. Because you came home, Mr. Desmond, and that's really what I was waiting for. I don't want to cause trouble to anyone. If I wanted to report you, why would I have come here to ask you to help me?
Just how do you want me to help you?
Oh, that's up to you, Mr. Desmond. Last night you saved my life. Saved me from drowning myself.
I thought you were accusing me of murder rather than rescue, Agatha.
Oh, no, sir. Did I say your name to anyone?
I think you were about to.
Let's not play games, Mr. Desmond. I'm not a child anymore, and I don't like playing games. You have such a beautiful house. I've enjoyed every minute I've been here. I wouldn't mind staying here. I wouldn't mind at all. You see, since you saved my life, I thought you might feel some responsibility for it. I had a very unhappy life, Mr. Desmond. I had good reasons for ending it. And now, well, look at me. I have to start living a new life because of you.
I think you're asking a strange sort of responsibility from me.
I didn't ask you to stop me from jumping into the river.
Agatha, I am glad that you are alive. Now, your life was in danger. I'm sorry that you have so little value to your life. But now you must make your choice as to how you are going to live your own life again. I can't help you.
But I have no friends but one. And I've lost him. I'd have some hope Mr. Desmond. I'd have something to live for if I could live here.
I can't do that.
You certainly have enough room.
That's not the point.
I'm trying to be nice, but if you keep saying no, I'll have to remind you of something. These marks on my neck. Marks from your hands, Mr. Desmond. I got home last night and was looking in the mirror when I suddenly remembered the newspaper story about that girl who was found strangled. I seem to remember there were marks on that girl's neck, like these. How come you stopped when you were choking me, Mr. Desmond? How come you didn't throw me into the river, dead?
Mr. Thaxton.
Ah, Raxel. I believe your master has come home at last.
You were listening at the door.
I was merely trying to ascertain who was in the drawing room. I didn't wish to disturb them.
I do not believe you, Mr. Thaxton.
I'm sorry you feel that way, Raxel. Perhaps when you come to know me better.
I know you well enough to know what you are.
Very hurtful. You've hurt me very deeply. Not the behavior one would expect from a devoted servant.
I am not your servant.
I know. I don't think I could stand all that devotion if I were Jean-Paul. If you were my servant, Raxel, I would have to destroy you before you did great harm.
Do not try to frighten me. I am not afraid of your threats.
Frighten you? How could you think such a thing? All I've done is provide you with the information that Jean-Paul is home after a very mysterious absence last night. He's in the drawing room with a young lady who came this morning. Very strange young lady. You see, I'm willing to assist you, Raxel, at any time.
Who is it?
It is Raxel.
Come in. Raxel, would you take this young lady's luggage and prepare her a room?
Pleased to meet you.
She will be staying with us for a time.
I won't be much bother. Really, I won't. You're the servant, aren't you?
I will show you to a room.
Raxel, when you're free, I'd like to speak to you in my room.
You won't regret this, Mr. Desmond. I'm very grateful, and I can be a very loyal person.
I'm sure.
This is such a grand house. I must be going to have a very impressive room.
We shall see.
Raxel, I didn't tell Mr. Desmond because I didn't want him to think me strange or anything, but a while ago in the drawing room, I lost track of a pet of mine.
Pet?
Yes. I thought while you were cleaning up, you just might run across Peter. Oh, his name is Peter. He's a snake.
A snake?
Yes, he's been a friend of mine for years. I found him in the caves in Ute River.
Found him by the caves?
Yes, but he's very tame with me. But when he gets overexcited...
I know the behavior of a snake. Is that all he is? A pet?
Yes.
Did you know, mademoiselle, that once snakes were worshipped? Have you heard of the serpent god?
No. No, I don't know anything about such things.
Oh, yes, you do, mademoiselle. Yes, you do.